We're in an age where getting out the house every day is a less intrinsic part of people's lives. With the move to remote and hybrid work, even Amazon and supermarket delivery, things like Uber Eats and Deliveroo, it's almost like you don't really have too much of a need to get out of the house nowadays. So I think we're in an age where we spend significantly more time indoors than our counterparts would have about a decade ago. I know some days, with the exception of maybe the morning workout or a occasional trip to the supermarket in case I've run out of some milk or something, almost 3 to 4 days can fly by without me really getting out of the house. And sometimes it's like the entire week, really, the entire work week. And considering that a decade ago people would 5 days of the week go to the office, it's a huge stark contrast to the life that I am living now. And above all, I think hundreds of years ago, when our ancestors were foraging for food, they would spend almost somewhere between 7 to maybe 14 hours out the house. And obviously I made this number up. There's no way I can fact check that, but it sounds about right. We are significantly underwhelming ourselves with the great outdoors and the great life that there is to be lived outside. And it's not much of a surprising statistic that over 1 billion people in the world have a vitamin D deficiency, which comes from the exposure to direct sunlight. And even though there is a bit of a mental and physiological health element to it, I guess I want to discuss more of just the philosophy of getting out the house and why it's more important than ever. And for me, that comes in two parts. The first is adventure, and the second is serendipity, and just enabling things to happen to you. I always feel like I have two inner voices. One telling me to stay at home, chill out, relax, work on myself. And the other is always somewhat guiding me out the house to explore, to adventure, to see people in my circles, to even meet new people. And occasionally, that latter voice will be slightly louder. And that's what eventually encourages me to get out the house, to find new places, to do new things, and just to experience life happening around me. An adventure doesn't have to be a long excursion far away. What I mean when I say adventure is more novelty, and just doing and experiencing things that we haven't experienced before. I think going about our day-to-day lives and just following our habits and our routines, we kind of lose sight of mental clarity, and we begin to live life in a bit of a malaise as opposed to living by intention. And getting out of the house and just doing things, seeing places, seeing people, meeting new people, and everything that is included in that sort of lifestyle can begin to reorient us and readjust our lives to begin to understand life a bit more intentionally and to make better decisions about what we want to do on a day-to-day basis. Now, I am very much a man of habit. I do fundamentally believe in the compounding effect. If every day I went to the gym, I read, I worked on my craft, or whatever it is that I set out to do, I know 4, 5, 6, maybe even 12 months down the line, in retrospect, I would have at some point achieved all the things that I set out to achieve when I began. But I don't think this can be sustained over a lifetime. I fundamentally believe that these times of deep focus, deep concentration, and consistency needs to be followed by equally deep times of novelty, of adventure, as a means for us all to reset and to realign. And getting out the house only seeks to enable that process. And it doesn't matter if this is a week away every 2, 3, 4 months, whether this is just a couple of hours out a week, or even just trying a new restaurant, maybe. Or even if it's just a walk through a garden, a forest, some sort of woodland park type thing, that's cool too. It's only in these micro adventures that we can begin to sort of reinstill our ambitions, our beliefs, and just overall what we want in life. And that's purely because it's only in moments like this when we're on the outside looking in that we can sort of gain that perspective. And it doesn't have to be a big thing, it can be a small thing, but just anything that pulls us out of our day to day, that pulls us out of what we'd expect on a daily basis, and just enables us to do something that's a little bit different. And this leads to our second principle, and that's more just the ability to have serendipitous encounters. And when you start giving things a go, you never really know what kind of people you meet, or what kind of interest will be piqued, or just what you'll happen to come across upon doing these things. And and this can be just as simple as taking a different route to work, or trying out a new supermarket or coffee shop, or maybe even going to the local food market and trying something that you haven't tried before. Because you never know what you'll come across that will, again, engage your interest and be like, wow, this coffee is better than the coffee I've been having every day. Or wow, this burrito is the best burrito I've ever had. These are horrible examples, but I think you get the idea. And I'm not saying this is going to happen all the time. Maybe it will only happen sometimes. But the point is, when you're doing something different and just being present, even if you're listening to music, you're able to sort of engage with your thoughts and just be a bit more mindful. And that also presents a new opportunity to do something you may not get a chance to do every single day. And just speaking from my own experience, the times that it does work out and an opportunity does present itself where things are going to your favor, from my own experience, they've been very worthwhile. And it's instances like those where I've probably gone to a restaurant in a very obscure location just because one friend recommended it, and it's been incredible food, some of the best I've had in London. And I've revisited those places many, many a times. Some of the best friends that I have made have just been going to like a friend's house, or being invited out with friends of friends and going on a whim just because I had nothing to do. And they've become my friends now, and they're still my friends. And it's stuff like that where opportunities presented themselves, and just because I said yes, even though it wasn't normally what I would do, it was just something different to sort of engage with the world. I was able to meet people and try new things, and it all worked out in my favor. And some of these places, like these restaurants I've been going to for years now. They're friends I've been hanging out with for years now as well. And I'm saying it's instances like those that we shouldn't give up on. Even as we get older and we become more slaves to our routines, and we have more responsibilities and our commitments, we should still try and make time for these moments to occur, because you never really know what the outcome will be. Plane's loud. Jesus Christ. Just give me a second. But naturally, getting out the house won't guarantee any of this. The only thing it will guarantee is just enabling the world to let things happen to you. When you get out of your comfort zone, when you get out the comfort of your house, of just the closed doors that you're used to day in and day out, it enables the world to just give you a bit of adventure, a bit of spice in your life. And I think that's something that should be welcomed occasionally. And when I mean only sometimes, I mean that because it's probably not a great mode of living to be going on random excursions all the time. I think routine, recovery, rest, all these things are very important components for your both your health, your physiology, and your mind. And I think one enables the other. I think you need both in your life. You need a bit of chaos, but you also need a bit of structure. And I think when you, that's quite scary. When you enable yourself to have a bit of both in life, you can make progress in the areas that you want to make progress in, but you can also make memories and stories and have novel experiences and live a bit of an adventurous life where you get to experience new things from time to time. And they make wonderful stories to tell when you get older. And I think that's always a nice thing to have. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you guys in the next one.